Okay.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to this week's Playdate. This week we're reading Border Breakdown by Giorgia Severni. Our reading will be followed by a short Q&A. So if you have any questions for a playwright, please post them in the comments below. Okay, guys, have fun.
Hi, I'm Dana Leotold, and I'll be reading the part of Anna.
Hi, my name is Jack Meyer, and I will be reading Lucas Kohler.
Hey, my name is Carl, and I will be reading Brian Stenson.
Hello, I'm Ava Derrigano, and I will be reading Claudine Minot.
Hi, my name is Oved Siddiqui, and I'll be reading for Morley.
Hello, my name is Eric Ray. I will be reading the stage directions and Jonas. The play takes place in the present day, in a small room in an airport. Minot and Lucas leads Lucas into the interrogation room. There is a desk with a stuffed beaver on the surface, plus 4 chairs and a trash can. Minot has Lucas's passport and visa documents.
Did I do something wrong?
In French.
Do you speak French?
Français? No, I prefer English.
How typical.
She waves a plastic security card over the beaver's eyes. They flash.
Am I in trouble?
The door opens and Brian enters, wearing what looks like a flight attendant outfit.
Bonjour, Claudie. What do you need?
Minot gives him a look.
I mean, how may I assist you?
Make a copy of this.
Brian leaves.
What is that for?
It needs additional screening before official approval.
But the letter said it was all valid.
You think a piece of paper lets you enter the country?
The door opens and Morley enters.
Hi there, how are you liking Canada so far?
I haven't seen it yet.
In French.
Let me try first. You can't pick on him arbitrarily.
Minot rolls her eyes but lets him take the lead. She strokes the beaver and appears to flip a switch.
Is something wrong with my visa?
Probably not. We just need to do a face-to-face interview.
No one said I had to do that.
It's a random selection for additional screening. We're sorry for the trouble. Tell us, why you wish to come to Canada?
I'm taking a year to travel.
Brian enters with the visa original and copy. Minot takes both papers and hands one to Morley.
Check if customs is under control.
And if it's not?
Just check.
Why did you choose our country?
It sounds like a nice place.
That's a great answer, but can you be more specific?
Nice scenery, landscapes. It seems like a nice place to practice my English.
Do you have a job?
No, not yet.
You're currently unemployed.
It's an open visa. I didn't need a job lined up.
Do you know enough English for employment?
Of course.
You would be more employable if you spoke French.
I thought English was an official language too.
It is. It's fine. It's just that Canadian taxpayers get a bit antsy when immigrants don't have jobs and use welfare.
I won't do that. I needed savings to get the visa.
That's great, but what are your plans for Canada?
I want to travel for a while, go camping in the Rocky Mountains. Is that allowed?
Absolutely, but how will you support yourself? You're not planning to poach our caribou for money?
What is caribou?
Really? You don't know?
Is it French?
Why did you choose English? Why don't you want the full Canadian experience of our Francophone culture?
I'd like to visit Quebec, but there are all these different rules to work there.
There are other Francophone regions.
Does my visa let me go there?
Answer the question. Why did you choose English?
I didn't. It was required in school.
Why are you German so lazy?
We're not. English class was hard.
Brian enters.
There's a line at customs. People are wondering what's going on.
We'll be there in a sec.
You want me to take over?
No, Lucas. Tell us your plans for work.
What am I supposed to do?
In French.
Make sure they stay in line.
I didn't quite get that. Could you go slower?
Make sure they stay in line.
Wait. Is that the right word?
Just go, Ali.
He can work here without knowing French.
Answer the question. What are your plans for work?
I'm an engineer, but I thought I'd start with some labor work.
Couldn't you do that in Germany?
I wanted some experience abroad. I thought in Canada they like foreigners, that it's a tolerant culture here.
Tolerance is important to you.
Yes, is that the right answer?
Brian enters.
What now?
I can't hold them. They really want their passports checked.
Tell them 5 minutes.
But they've already been waiting 5 minutes, and they're complaining. Some are complaining in languages I don't understand.
They should be speaking our official languages.
Well, standing in line after a long flight can be hard on people.
In French.
We're going to have more trouble on our hands if we don't deal with the detainee immediately.
In French.
I'll get something out of the detainee. You take care of customs.
Minot leaves with Lucas's passport and visa. Brian follows.
Does she need my passport?
After your Rocky Mountain experience, will you head to the Arctic?
No.
Why not?
What's up there? Snow and ice? I can go to Norway for that.
Norway isn't the same.
But it's still cold.
You're not aware of Inuit culture? You don't want to learn to hunt polar bear?
No, I don't want to do that.
Just checking. We have to be careful about foreign poachers who are after our magnificent polar bears.
I'm not a poacher. I'm not going to do anything illegal for money.
Sorry for all the trouble, but we have to be extra careful with European newcomers. Norway might take advantage of the Arctic Passage opening up.
I'm not from Norway.
With your background in engineering, will you be looking for work in the energy industry?
I'm a structural engineer. Bridges and stuff.
We may have to do a background check. Some building projects could be fronts for Norway's planned oil coup.
I'm not going to work for Norway's oil coup, whatever that is. Don't they do background checks before issuing visas?
Sometimes double checks are needed.
But if I work for wind power companies, is that allowed?
Are you anti-oil? In some parts of this country, taxpayers are a bit touchy about that.
Can I stick to bridges? No one hates bridges, right?
Brian enters.
Hey, Mo. Hey, Lucas.
Don't talk to the detainee.
Well, we have a situation at customs. I'm trying to find anyone who can help. Do either of you speak Norwegian?
Oh, hell no. No special treatment for Norwegians.
Well, they said at the Geneva airport they get service in whatever language they want. Claudia is getting mad.
Can't you use Google to translate or something to translate our polite reminder of our official languages?
I can, but am I allowed to interpret?
Sure, just don't look at the passports. I'll be there in a few minutes.
Brian leaves gleefully.
Why am I being detained?
You're not. We welcome newcomers here.
But I seem to keep giving the wrong answers.
We have to make sure newcomers understand our culture and values. After all, taxpayers are paying for language police, like my colleague Minot.
Language police.
We're required to weed out newcomers who don't respect our country.
Is it better for your country if I just leave?
What's the rush?
I think I misunderstood the language requirements, and I don't want trouble. Can I have my passport back?
You don't have a passport?
Your colleague, Minot, she took it.
Are you sure you didn't forget it?
No, we both saw her take it.
Don't worry. We'll get all this straightened out.
Morley leaves. Lucas notices the beaver seems to be making a faint buzzing and checks it for a camera. He finds the switch, but touching it causes a beeping sound. He leaves it alone and pulls out his phone and does an internet search. Minot enters.
You can't use that here.
I was just looking up what caribou means.
Hand it over.
It's a reindeer. I'll put it away.
Put it on the table.
Lucas obeys. Minot takes it and puts it in the desk drawer.
I'm not trying to cause trouble. If I can have my passport back, I will get out of Canada.
Where will you go?
Maybe Australia.
Why?
I'm traveling for a year. I'm going somewhere.
Why did you leave your country?
To travel for a year. Doesn't everyone do that?
No.
Okay, I'll go back to Germany. I don't need to travel. Will that get me out of here?
You wanted to come to Canada because we are a tolerant nation. Are you fleeing intolerance in your country?
What kind of intolerance?
We all know what goes on in your country.
Is this about Alternative für Deutschland?
French or English, please.
Alternative for Germany. The far-right party that's giving Germany a bad reputation. Not everyone agrees with them. I don't.
What about these festivals in Germany that mock indigenous people?
What? Oh, those. It's not mockery. It's like a Wild West thing. Don't you have something like that here? Some kind of stampede?
Not like that. We don't treat other cultural practices as amusements.
But don't Canadians dress up and pretend they're German for Oktoberfest? Or cosplay as anime characters?
You're comparing indigenous cultures to cartoons.
No!
Is Alternative for Germany involved?
No! It was going on for years before I was born. It's a silly thing, I know, but it's not trying to be a mocker.
Is there any chance you won't be able to go home? Could you be a target of rising extremism?
This is ridiculous. In theory, I could be a target because I'm gay, but it's not likely. And some gay men support Alternative for Germany anyway, so it's hard to feel persecuted.
Gay men like you support a far-right party in your country.
No, not like me. No one I know. It's just a thing you hear about. And I wonder what those men are thinking. It will all blow over eventually.
That's what they all say.
Brian enters.
The customs situation is turned into a small riot.
What's Morley doing?
I think he's holding back a small riot at security.
That isn't our job.
Well, the security personnel might have gotten scared. Have a listen.
Minot waves her card over the beaver, raises an antenna on the beaver, and flips a switch. Sounds of rioting.
If you're busy, just give me back my passport. I will get out of your way and be on the next plane back to Germany.
There is no next plane.
What?
What?
She sets the beaver back to normal.
Not for you. You can't leave until Morley and I decide you're clear as a security threat. If it were up to me, all you people too lazy to learn French would go to jail.
Is this really a language police? I thought it was a joke.
Motions for Lucas to shut up.
I can help with crowd control. Then you can get back to Lucas.
Brian and Minot leave. Lucas is left alone. He tries to retrieve his phone from the desk drawer, but finds it locked. He tries the door. It's also locked. He examines the beaver and tries to find the antenna. The beaver beeps, and a voice emanates. Please remove your hand from the security device. Lucas moves his chair out of view of the beaver's eyes. Brian enters with a tray of refreshments and a backpack.
Hey, Lucas. Would you like coffee? Tea? Water? You should at least have water.
He puts down the tray and stashes his backpack behind a side of the desk, out of the beaver's view.
What is going on here? Why am I being detained?
I'm not part of those decisions. I'm low on the hierarchy. Very low.
Do you at least know how I can get a ticket to go back home?
I think all the flights are grounded now. Temporarily.
Why? Because of the riots? Or is the weather bad?
No, what are you traveling for, anyway?
I already answered that. I wanted to travel for a year, but that seems to be a bad decision.
It shouldn't be. It should be a good thing. See new places, experience different cultures. I did it.
And you didn't get in trouble, right?
Why are you traveling by yourself?
Is that against the rules? Is that why I'm in trouble?
No, it can be a good experience. You learn self-reliance.
Yes, exactly. I wanted to have some new experiences while I'm young.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
But my mom and boyfriend didn't like it. They'll be thrilled when I crawl back home.
They might just be worried about you.
I'm an adult. I can look after myself.
But sometimes you need to rely on others. The downside of solo adventures is you're surrounded by strangers. You might find yourself in a situation with no one to count on.
You know, one of the reasons I wanted to travel was to get away from lectures.
It's not a lecture. I'm just wondering how many people can vouch for you if you were in trouble. Your family list is very small.
What do you care?
Well, that could be why you're flagged. They might think the list is incomplete.
It's not.
Your mother's your only family?
Yes.
You're an only child?
Yes. Is that the problem?
Why didn't you list your father?
I don't have a father. He died before I was born.
I see.
They can't get me for that. I don't have to list dead family members.
Is there anything else they might have flagged you for? You're not involved in drugs or anything, right?
What? No. Are you even supposed to be asking me that?
What about associations with enemy nations?
I thought Canada didn't have those.
Oil rivals. You don't have any friends or colleagues from Norway.
What is this Norway thing?
The Norway oil coup comes up a lot during elections. Taxpayers get a little paranoid about an Arctic invasion.
So why are they detaining me? There's Norwegians at customs making a scene.
Well, they don't want to piss off Norway. Canada is woefully unprepared for war.
Norway doesn't give a shit about Canada. They have enough oil. Aren't they worried about a war with Germany?
Canada did win the last one.
Yeah, I know.
So, no Norwegian connections then?
No.
Looks at the visa application.
What else might they flag? Anything that might drain taxpayer money gets flags. Any reason you might be looking to be a refugee or overstay your visa?
I told Minot I'm gay, but I'm not in danger back home. I'm not a refugee.
But hypothetically, what if you were faking? What if you're pretending to be a persecuted group to get into Canada?
Do they want to talk to my boyfriend?
And why isn't he traveling with you?
He got a job right after graduating, so he didn't want to travel.
Is there a chance you might want to bring him over later? Like, sponsor him? They really don't want partners draining taxpayer money.
Not going to happen. He's the most responsible person you would ever meet.
No. I think I know the type.
If he did come over, he would probably get a job before I do.
No, don't you just hate people like that?
Seriously, I think my mother loves him more than me.
What's his name?
Jonas Richter.
The beaver makes a warning sound. Brian tries again to make sure the beaver's ears are covered.
Keep your voice down.
What is that thing? Can it hear us?
Honestly, I'm not sure, but I really don't think there's a case against you. So try to be super nice to Mo, Morley. He doesn't care much about language.
So it didn't matter. I didn't know they call reindeer caribou.
It's not that. He just wants to make sure you're not a danger to the animals. So promise, you won't hurt the animals. You should be on his good side.
Why are you helping me? Aren't you working for them?
Yeah, but I'm so low on the hierarchy. I understand what it's like to be treated less than human.
Morley enters.
Where were you?
Here?
Minot was looking for you.
Once everyone lined up against the wall, I didn't need to do anything else.
Are you kidding? It's chaos up there.
Morley waves his plastic security access card in front of the beaver and raises the antenna on the beaver and flips a switch. Minot's voice is heard yelling at rowdy passengers to get up against the wall.
Sounds like a lot of trouble. You could let me go and deal with that.
Lowers the antenna.
We're not done with you yet.
I promise I won't hurt any caribou.
You could detain them in the other little room.
There is no other little room.
Yes, there is. That other door near the USA Connections.
I thought that was a storage closet.
It's another little room.
I've got to see this.
Can I maybe get higher status for finding it, mate?
Brian, you having any status at all is a personal favor.
Oh, I thought it was gratitude for all the times I sat and listened to you vent at the Gretzky bar.
Brian, the security area is a mess. Go stack the bins.
But what about the rowdy passengers?
Can I be put on the next flight home?
We have to straighten out some potential fraud on your visa application first.
If this is about my family members, it really is just me and my mother.
Mo, it's okay. He did his list right.
You're not supposed to do interrogations.
I wasn't interrogating him. We were just talking.
Brian, the bins.
Brian exits glumly, leaving the visa application and backpack behind. Morley waves his security access card in front of the beaver a few times to make sure it's working properly. Morley takes the visa application copy Brian left on the desk.
Let's straighten out your missing father on your family lists.
Really, I did my list right. My father is dead.
Are you sure?
Yes. Call my mother. She will tell you.
Having so few connections can be a red flag for fraud. It also becomes very difficult to verify your identity.
But I have enough connections. I listed the number of references I was supposed to.
Morley scans the visa application.
You and Brian were talking about a boyfriend.
How do you know?
Glances at the beaver.
Were you listening in?
He's not on your reference list.
He's only known me 3 years. I listed references who have known me longer. That's what I was supposed to do.
What's his name?
Jonas Richter.
The beaver makes the warning sound.
You didn't want us to know about him.
What? I just told you who he is.
That name is on our no-fly list. He's a known, how do I put this? In Canada, we don't like to use the N-word. Nazi.
Lucas takes this very seriously.
We don't like Nazis in Germany either, sir. Jonas Richter is a very common name.
The beaver makes the warning sound.
It must be someone else.
It's unfortunate, but this connection is suspicious, given your country's cultural practices.
What are you talking about?
In your conversation with Minot, you told her about politically incorrect festivals and a rising far-right movement. And let's face it, your country does have a checkered history.
That has nothing to do with me. I don't know who this other Jonas Richter is, but he's definitely not my boyfriend.
The beaver makes the warning sound.
But we have to take the no-fly list seriously. We have to protect Canada from that other thing that we don't like to talk about here.
What thing?
Terrorism.
This is ridiculous. How many common names are on that list? You can't treat everyone named Mohammed like this, right?
My name is Mohammed.
Minot called you Morley.
You could call... We're on a last name basis. My first name is Mohammed.
Should I call her Miss Minot?
You could call her Claudine, but God help you. Make sure you pronounce it right.
Wouldn't it be unfair to treat you like a terrorist because of your name?
It happens all the time.
Doesn't it bother you?
Most of the time it's funny, like how you call Minot the language police, but sometimes it hurts. Last year, I was the only one who wasn't allowed to go to the International Border Security Conference in Grand Forks.
You're on the no-fly list.
Partial match, but couldn't enter the States. My badge meant nothing.
That's my point. Isn't it unfair to discriminate based on names?
Morley checks out the coffee.
Times are tough. So tough. We're stuck with airplane coffee. Do you want some horrible airplane coffee?
No.
Morley waves his security card in front of the beaver. It appears to shut down.
What about a beer?
What? No.
Why not? This would be easier if you loosened up a bit.
I can't drink here. It's an interrogation.
This isn't an interrogation. This is just a thing that we do in Canada. We solve problems over beer.
Really?
Don't you do that in Germany?
Not really, no.
Morley lifts the top of the desk and retrieves 2 beers from a secret fridge. Morley chugs his beer while Lucas is very reluctant to drink.
I completely sympathize with how much it hurts to be labeled a security threat, but border security all over the world is under a lot of pressure these days. Nobody's perfect. We make mistakes like anyone else. But when lives are lost in a terrorist attack, taxpayers wonder why we were not more careful.
Yes, I do understand you have to be careful.
Every time I go through one of these interrogations, I need a drink.
So this is an interrogation?
I think it was during the Syrian refugee crisis I installed the fridge. We couldn't do anything right in those days. In fact, it's been downhill from there.
Yes, I understand. It would be less stressful on you if I can have my passport so I can go back to Germany.
See, you don't understand. We're getting shit on from the national and international communities because we may have let in 1 or 2 terrorists or people with the same name as terrorists. But we're also getting shit on every time we send someone back. We get told we're being unfair, discriminatory, oppressive.
You can't please everyone.
Of course not. That's nothing new. It's part of the job. But lately, the international community has been especially hard on us. The Minister of Public Safety and Emergency Preparedness is now laying down the law. They announced new policies this morning.
Okay.
It's now strictly forbidden for any of us border control staff to purchase anything from Tim Hortons. We're under fire due to the perception that this is where we're spending taxpayers' money.
But beer is okay.
And they're cracking down to ensure we actually follow proper vetting procedures. That's what we're doing here. If we skip one little step, we'll be fired. The days of glancing at passports and waving everyone through are over.
This is a bit much so. Isn't there a middle ground?
We have to make sure we don't let anyone potentially dangerous or disrespectful of Canadian values, whatever those are. But we also have to be careful not to obviously discriminate for bad reasons.
What are the good reasons?
We also have to make sure not to take too long, or we'll get complaints that we're too slow and wasting taxpayers' money.
How long have I been here?
Now do you understand the pressure we're under?
Yes, it sounds terrible. Why are you telling me all this? Isn't this classified information?
I don't think the memo said it was classified. You can have a look if you want.
He searches his pockets but can't find anything.
I must have left it in my locker. Look, I'm sharing this with you because I think you're actually a good kid. I'm hoping you can help us come up with a solution.
What am I supposed to do?
You started this mess. You get us out.
I don't even understand what I did.
Morley waves his card in front of the beaver, turning it back on, and leaves. Lucas tries to avoid the beaver's eyes while he tries to open the desk drawer, secret fridge, and door. He finds them all locked.
Jonas Richter.
The beaver makes a warning noise.
Mohammed Morley.
The beaver makes a non-threatening beep.
Lucas Kohler.
The beaver laughs. Lucas retreats as far away from the beaver's sightline as possible and sees the backpack Bryant left behind. He opens it and takes out various items that might have been purchased in an airport, like a neck pillow and traveler's mug. Among the items, he finds a plastic bag of prepared cannabis joints, and he puts it in the trash to avoid the beaver's sightline. Finally, he finds something that might be useful, a bottle opener and a disposable cell phone. He puts the bottle opener in his pocket and dials a number on the phone and waits for an answer. Minot enters.
I knew you Germans were lazy. You have a problem to solve, and the first thing you do is call your mother.
She takes the phone.
How did you know?
Minot reveals another cell phone buzzing.
How did you get her phone? What did you do?
Morley enters with Anna, Lucas's mother. Her English is not as good as Lucas's, and she may confuse words. In German?
Lucas, thank God you're alive.
Was ist passiert?
Oh, excuse me, in Canada we speak English?
And French.
What's going on? Why is she here?
Someone from Canada said they ordered me to come and they arranged my flight.
Yes, we thought you could help straighten all this out.
Mama, was haben Sie gesagt?
In German?
It doesn't matter. When I got here, they told me you were in trouble.
Come on, we have an official language policy.
We found her trying to step out of line at customs. She is a troublemaker, just like you.
5 minutes in line is unacceptable. That would never happen in Germany.
We're doing our best. We're short-staffed. Cutbacks.
And your son's troublemaking is causing more work.
What happened? Why are you in trouble?
Your son may have Nazi connections.
I raised you better than that.
No, I didn't do anything. They're after me because of someone with Jonas's name.
You're Jonas? He is too responsible to be involved in these people.
You see?
Why don't you stay home and get a job like he did?
Did they ask about my father? Did you tell them he's dead?
It didn't come up.
But that's the other reason I'm in trouble.
If he's making trouble, I take him home.
Yes, if I can get my passport back, I'll go home.
I'll see if it's in the lost and found.
She leaves.
You lost your passport?
No, she took it and won't give it back.
I'm sure it will turn up.
Mom, tell him I was telling the truth. My father is dead.
He was dead already when Lucas was born.
See?
Lucas never had a father in his life.
Morley sees the backpack.
Where did this come from? I thought you handed over your bags.
I did. Lucas, are you making trouble?
It's not mine. I think that other guy with the water, it's his.
Damn it, Brian.
The disposable cell phone rings. Morley picks it up.
Brian who?
I think he's their assistant.
Hello, bonjour, Canada Border Services Agency. Hey, Mino. Yeah, I guess this is Brian's phone. I sent him to clean up security. Are the bins stacked yet? You don't think he's riling up passengers, do you?
He continues the conversation as he leaves with the backpack and phone. Anna in German.
What happened here? Why are you in so much trouble?
Ich habe nichts gemacht. Sie sind verrückt.
There is a beeping sound followed by an announcement.
Sorry, everyone. This is a reminder that Canada's official language is French and English.
Fine.
Why can't we speak our own language by ourselves?
You see what I'm dealing with.
Anna holds up the beer cans on the desk.
Why are you drinking?
It's not mine.
I can smell it on you. That's why they keep you here.
They brought me here and made me drink. They keep drinking here.
He tries to open the secret fridge, but it still won't open.
You are on drugs. I knew it. That's why you wanted to come to Canada.
I'm not on drugs.
You came here to see your no-good Canadian friend.
She starts rummaging through the trash can.
No, he wasn't my friend.
Anna finds the plastic bag of cannabis.
You're smoking these again?
That's not mine.
I can't believe you came to this place instead of getting a job. You're just like your father.
Did my father do something?
Do they want money? If we give them money, will they let you go?
No, don't do that. They won't like bribes.
Why not? This is like one of those countries with all the drugs and...
Anna finds her wallet and checks how much cash she has. Mino enters.
Anna, I need your wallet.
I only have 100 euros. Is this enough?
I need your wallet. The whole thing. We'll straighten everything out from there.
Nein, Mama, gib es nicht.
Lucas, you're going to get yourself in more trouble.
She hands her wallet over to Mino.
I need yours too.
No.
Lucas, once they have all of our money, they have to let us go.
Are you trying to bribe me?
Isn't that what you want?
Do you think we're one of those countries? We don't do that here.
She taps something on the beaver. Its eyes flash.
I told you they wouldn't like bribes.
Morley enters. During their exchange, Lucas turns his back and removes his ID cards and credit card from his wallet and puts them in his pocket.
We have a bribery situation.
Let's take her to the other room.
What other room?
You didn't know? There's another little room.
There is not.
There is. Over in the USA terminal.
That's a storage closet.
Wanna bet? I'll show you. Whoever is right gets to keep the bribe.
Morley exits. Mino goes to exit, but then turns back to Lucas.
We still need your wallet.
Lucas hands it over. Mino checks inside.
I need everything in it.
That's all there is.
Hand over everything, or we will lock you both in the storage closet.
Lucas, give her these things in your pocket. You're making it worse.
Lucas gives in and hands over the cards.
No, you're making it worse.
Your situation will only improve if you cooperate.
She leaves with both wallets. In German?
Can we speak in German now?
There is a beeping noise followed by an announcement.
This is a reminder that all those not adhering to Canada's official language policy will be persecuted.
See, it is one of those countries.
Why did you come? You made things worse.
They ordered me to come.
What was the order for?
They talk very fast here.
Brian enters with Lucas's passport and visa behind his back. He sees Anna and recognizes her right away. He gasps but says nothing. Anna takes a moment but then recognizes him.
Brian!
You know him?
Brian gestures for them to be quiet. He tiptoes to a spot behind the beaver out of its sightline and takes a plastic security access card out of his pocket. He waves it in front of the beaver's eyes and it appears to shut down. He hides the card in his pocket.
Nice to see you, Anna. That may have been caught on tape.
Mom, how do you know him?
I don't. I thought he was someone else.
But you know his name, and he knows yours.
Lucas,
He gives Lucas his passport and visa.
here's your stuff back. You have to go. I took care of it.
What about my mother? Is she going to get out too?
Anna, I didn't know you were here. It's great to see you.
He moves in for a hug, but Anna glares at him and he steps back.
How do you know each other?
We don't. He's confusing me with someone else.
We'll work it out later. But we don't have time. You have to get out. Go wait in the USA terminal near the United desk. I can get you on a flight out.
United? That's the worst airline.
You'll get home with Lufthansa, but you can't be seen there yet. That's the first place to look.
Who are you? What are you doing?
Yes, who are you? Do you have my passport?
You don't have it?
The guards, they took it at customs.
Oh, no.
They took your passport? Now do you believe they took mine?
Brian listens at the door.
We don't have time to argue. They're coming. Lucas, you have to get out, and I'll work something out for Anna.
Morley and Mino enter.
Brian, here you are.
We've been looking for you.
I'm not causing trouble. The bins are all stacked.
Did you have our detainee his documents?
Lucas hides his passport and visa behind his back.
Well, there's no reason why he shouldn't have them. I double-checked his visa, and there's actually no problem. He actually did list his father.
Ryan, you're not authorized to do that.
Morley takes Lucas's visa and looks at it.
Brian, you clearly wrote in yourself.
What did you do to it?
He tries to take it, but Morley won't let him.
I told you he couldn't be trusted.
Yeah, Brian, I want to trust you, but now you're stealing confiscated documents and tampering with visas?
Lucas finally takes his visa and reads from it.
Who is Brian Stenson? Is this you?
Come on, Mo. Claudie, I couldn't let you take my son as a terrorist.
What are you talking about? He listed his name as my father, but my father is dead.
Look, it's understandable Anna might say that. I did kind of drop off the face of the earth.
You can't be my father. You're not even German.
I'm Australian. I came to Germany when I was taking a year to travel.
You're all fucking with me. My father is dead. Isn't he, Mom?
Yes, he is.
Brian pulls a photo from his pocket.
Anna, I still have a favorite photo together.
Lucas takes the photo.
It's photoshopped.
No, it's real. Trust me. We scan passport photos for Photoshop. We can tell.
It's all the idea I have left in the world.
Mom, is this true?
Of course not. They can't prove anything.
Actually, we can.
We did.
When you applied for your visa, we had instant rights to request your DNA from your country.
You said my father was dead.
He was never coming back. He abandoned us.
But I did try to contact you.
You are a liar and irresponsible. I had to clean your apartment after you disappeared. I found the drugs.
Did you happen to find my birth certificate?
I burned it.
See? She has the drug connections. It's a whole family criminal ring.
I had nothing to do with it. It's all his fault.
If it makes you happy, I got exactly what I deserved. I was deported from Germany, and since I had no way to prove who I am, Australia deported me too. No country would let me in.
Hey, Canada welcomed you.
You tolerate me.
Brian, you can be really negative sometimes. If you were in the States, you might be living in a cage. At least we let you live here.
Live here? You mean in the airport?
22 years.
Is this going to happen to me? I'm going to be stuck in the airport the rest of my life?
It's not that bad. Our airport is one of the largest economies in the region.
Yeah, it's all right. I don't have to pay rent. I'm never out of work with all the jobs the airport creates. If I make enough, I can spend a few days in the premium lounge when it's comfortable.
This cannot be where I came from.
You see, Lucas, this is why I didn't want you to travel.
Maybe if you didn't keep trying to control me, I wouldn't have wanted to leave. Is this why I'm in trouble? My parents are irresponsible liars and no one was going to tell me. Am I not allowed to cross borders because of them?
You would never have known if you had stayed at home and got a job like Jonas.
Yeah, you could have avoided all this if you stayed home and got a bloody job.
Don't act like this is my fault. What's the point in staying home? My entire life back there was a lie.
Would you rather I told you what happened? That this man sold drugs and abandoned me while I was pregnant?
I was trying to come back, but I had no choice. I had no chance now without my birth certificate.
Brian, we might be able to review the legal status if everyone just cooperates. That's why we've gathered you all here today.
What?
Your family criminal ring is linked with a Gordon Campbell.
The beaver makes a warning sound.
I'm pretty sure it's Gordon Campbell.
The beaver makes a sad sound.
Look, I'm always confused about who we're talking about. It's Gordon Campbell, who's the bigger drug dealer, right?
The beaver makes a warning sound.
It's your horrible, lazy Canadian friend. I told you to stay away from him.
No, he wasn't my friend.
How do you know Gordon Campbell?
The beaver makes a sad sound.
Or Gordon? I thought Anna wouldn't want you involved in drugs like me.
I don't think we're talking about the same person. He was just an exchange student.
That Canadian was definitely on drugs. That is why I didn't want you to come here.
What's wrong with our exchange students?
He wasn't that bad. He was just kind of lazy and thought university would be one long Oktoberfest.
Germany shouldn't have let him in. He didn't even want to learn our language.
So what? I got to practice English talking with him.
What are Gordon Campbell's last known whereabouts?
The beaver makes a warning sound.
Are we definitely looking for Gordon, not Gordon?
This guy was definitely Gordon. He wasn't French.
Who said he was French?
But what did he even do?
He's a known international drug dealer.
It can't be the exchange student. He just came to Germany to fuck around.
All these young men crossing borders to fuck around are major security threats.
But Claudie, I'm pretty sure the one you're looking for is an older guy. Someone I might have known when I was a young man traveling to other countries to fuck around.
Well, Brian, if you cooperated in the first place and told us where he is, we wouldn't have had to detain your whole criminal family ring.
We aren't a family criminal ring. He is not part of the family.
I don't believe this. I'm in trouble because this guy won't give up Gordon Campbell.
The beaver makes a different sad sound.
Pretty sure it's Gordon.
I don't know which one you want. I keep telling you, it's a common name.
Common enough for your son to be mixed up with him?
Lucas, just tell them where your horrible friend is.
I don't know where he is, and I'm sure he's not the right one.
I'm getting confused. Let's at least check the no-fly list for the right guy. His
Brian,
age?
did you find it?
No, I looked everywhere.
The green binder.
There was no green binder.
Morley?
Nope.
Do you realize we only have 12 hours left? We'll never finish if you two keep losing documents.
I don't keep losing documents.
Neither do I. I'd be fired on the spot.
12 hours for what?
I'll find it.
She leaves.
Why is the no-fly list in a binder?
Where should it be?
Lucas eyes the beaver.
An electronic database?
Can't afford it.
But you can't afford to test my DNA?
That was included in your visa application fee.
Your taxpayer should refund me that fee.
It went to your government. Take it up with them.
He covers the beaver's ears and lowers his voice.
Speaking of taxpayers, Brian, have you seen my access card?
No.
If I ask Minot for hers one more time, she's going to kill me. It is going to cost taxpayers money to replace it.
Ever think maybe Minot took your card? Maybe she's the one losing all the documents and blaming you.
We should check her locker. Do you know the combo?
No, but think maybe I could crack it. Want me to try?
This is not a good time to give you free run of the airport.
Why was he allowed free run of the airport in the first place? He's actually a drug dealer.
No, I'm not doing that anymore. I learned my lesson.
This is the worst border control in the world.
This would never be tolerated in Germany.
No wonder other countries give you a hard time.
I did ask you if you had a better solution. Did you try to come up with anything at all?
If I can have my phone back, maybe I can call Gordon Campbell.
The beaver makes the original sad sound.
I'm sure it's not the right guy.
You still talk to him? He's the reason you're in trouble. I told you that Canadian was no good.
Mom, you're not helping.
Can we solve this without disparaging Canadians? We're not all lazy, no good drug smugglers.
Lucas's phone starts buzzing in the desk drawer. Morley opens the drawer and answers it.
Hello, bonjour, Canadian Border Services Agency.
Come on, that could be for me.
No. You might not have the wrong number. Who are you trying to reach? Yes, Lucas is here, but he's unavailable. Who's this? Is this Gordon or Gordon? Where are you? How do you know about that? What? Okay, let's all calm down. Don't panic. Tell me exactly where you are. Hello? Hello? Merde!
He tries to call back, but the phone is locked.
Lucas, unlock your phone.
What was that? Was that Gordon?
Looks like he was texting a lot, trying to get a hold of you.
Why is he calling you?
Maybe he was trying to warn me. Where is he?
Another airport, where the memo was leaked. Brian, do you know anything about this?
Which airport?
I can't tell. It's classified information.
Well, it's certainly not this airport. Even I haven't seen the memo here.
Of course, it's not this airport. Somehow, photocopies of the memo got all over the other airport and passengers were freaking out. We would know if that happened here.
That definitely won't happen here. I know how seriously you take the photocopying budget.
Why are passengers freaking out? What's on the memo?
Don't worry. We'll straighten everything out. Unlock your phone. We'll call him back.
My phone's code is classified information.
Be as non-compliant as you want. We have ways to unlock phones ourselves.
Morley leaves with Lucas's phone and remembers to take Lucas's passport and visa with him as well. Brian motions for Anna and Lucas to be quiet, moves out of the beaver's sightline, and retrieves the access card from his pocket. He waves it in front of the beaver and shuts it down.
What happened to the backpack I left here?
That's what you have to say?
I thought the things in there might be useful to help you escape.
Morley took it.
Crikey. Those were all the possessions I had in the world.
Lucas takes out the bottle opener.
I still have this.
Oh, great. Don't wave it around like a weapon or they'll confiscate it.
There's also the bag in the trash.
Brian retrieves it and puts it on the desk.
Hey, don't throw that out. It's one of my few pleasures.
Still with the drugs. You haven't changed at all.
I told you it wasn't mine.
It's okay. It's legal here.
Where do you even get that in the airport?
A red light on the beaver starts flashing and it beeps intermittently.
With the duty-free liquor. Look, we have to move fast. Mo is eventually going to find out I took his card.
Why should we trust you? You keep breaking rules and it looks bad for me.
Why didn't you get a real job in Germany instead of selling drugs? Your son wouldn't have ended up here.
I know. I was stupid. My German wasn't good enough for a real job, so I sold drugs for money. You know I was planning to go to university. I wanted a real life with you.
Mom, I can't believe you kept this from me.
You should have listened and stayed home.
I'm sure your mother was just trying to protect you. She didn't want you to end up stateless and lonely with no prospects, like me. But I'll make sure it doesn't happen to you.
How?
Well, Lucas, did Mo tell you about the memo they got this morning?
He said they got orders to tighten security. But now Gordon called and it's been copied at another airport?
Brian pulls a paper out of his pocket.
I've got the only copy at this airport. Mo and Claudie haven't noticed it's missing yet. They have to close the border, but they need a good cover story for the public. They can't have people thinking Canada is some kind of fascist hellscape. They need a terrorist. Someone to use to prove they need to take drastic measures. And they have exactly 24 hours to do it, or the Ministry of Public Safety and Emergency Preparedness will shut down all airports. I think we're more than halfway to the time now.
So they want me as a terrorist.
Yeah.
They didn't really put me at random, did they?
Turn yourself in. Tell them you took their memo and they should let Lucas go.
If I admit to anything, they'll just have another reason to detain Lucas. And you too.
We didn't do anything. It's just you.
Are you sure, Mom? I don't know what to believe anymore.
No, Lucas, it's all on me. I got in trouble. Your mother had nothing to do with it. Since I was a visitor in Germany, I am considered an international drug dealer.
How are you allowed to work here?
They started letting me work in the shops and restaurants. It's better than asking passengers for change.
You worked real jobs all these years?
Yeah. Just today, Mo promoted me to border assistant, even though I only had retail and food service experience. Come to think of it, the same day I got this promotion, I found out I had a son. I thought it was weird they picked my son as their terrorist. Felt more like a coincidence.
How did you find out Lucas was your son?
His visa application. I saw your name.
I'm not the only Anna caller.
But I was right. And here you are. And Lucas is great. Like you.
You should have told me the truth in Germany. I could have helped you find a job.
Yeah, I know, but I'll make it up to you both. Lucas, I am going to help you get out of here. I'll never see you again, but you don't deserve to suffer this fate.
How do we get him out?
We've got to prove that Lucas is a fine, upstanding young man who's no terrorist. We've got to get someone responsible to vouch for him.
Yeah, Mom, if you had vouched for me in the first place, we wouldn't be here.
If you had stayed home and gotten the job like Jonas, we wouldn't be... Jonas, he will vouch for you.
Great idea. If this boyfriend of yours is as perfect as you say he is, he can get Lucas off the hook.
Then can we go home?
Not if they don't have their terrorist. We have to find someone else to blame.
Who?
Look, I don't really get the cannabis from the duty-free shop, okay? I get it from Gordon Campbell.
The beaver's intermittent beep becomes more urgent.
There's a third Gordon?
He's an older guy. He's part of the shameful, secret, stateless airport population. Like me. He's not the one Mo and Claudia are looking for, but it's a common name. He'll do.
So we're turning over an innocent person.
Well, it's either him or you. Mo and Claudia will have their terrorists, and they will let you two go. We have to give them what they want, so they'll give you back your documents.
Why don't you turn yourself in?
I would, but I can't. I have no documents. Officially, I'm a criminal at large.
How convenient.
Brian gives her the memo.
Give this to Mo and Claudia. Say you found it in the trash. They must be worried by now that the memo will get leaked like at the other airport, and they'll be happy that it's not the case.
You really care about your son?
Of course.
Would you really have straightened up and have made a real life with me? If you weren't deported?
Yes. I still want that.
I wasn't called here for Lucas. I didn't know Lucas was in trouble until I got here.
Why did you really come? What did they say to you when they ordered you over?
They said they found Brian Stenson and they needed someone to verify his identity.
You came all the way here for me?
It was also nice to have the free trip. I never got to travel since I had to raise a child by myself.
What do you think of Canada?
It's horrible. And I want to help you get out.
Anna pulls out Brian's birth certificate from her pocket.
You didn't burn it.
I thought if you were a good man, you would show yourself someday. If your plan works, you can have it back.
Do you think I could go back to Germany with you?
I'll vouch for you. I'll try to get your ban lifted. But if your plan fails, I burn it.
The beaver's beeps are loud and fast now. Brian waves the card in front of the beaver, and when it doesn't work, he throws the card in the trash. Minot enters, stressed out. She waves her own card in front of the beaver to get it to function properly again.
Bonjour, Claudie. How may I assist you today?
Marley's card has been reported stolen. Did you take it?
No, I don't have it. You can strip search me if you want.
Whatever Marley told you, you are out of favors. And what happens to the memo, huh? Neither of us can find it.
You shouldn't be so careless with important documents. Fortunately, Anna found it.
Anna hands Minot the memo.
Where did you get this?
The trash.
This is being leaked in airports across the country, and it was in the trash.
But at least this airport still only has one copy. We're not as bad as the other airports.
What do you know about the copies?
Oh, I don't know anything beyond this airport.
There was an extra charge for our photocopies.
Oh, that. No, I just made an extra copy of Lucas's visa.
Brian, we're on a strict budget.
It's just the first one didn't turn out.
Both of you, you're going to the other room.
The other room? No, I only mentioned it because I thought it would help you and Mo.
Are we in trouble?
Are you taking them to a storage closet?
Minot leads Brian and Anna out. Lucas stares at the beaver and moves from side to side, trying to see if its eyes will follow him.
Jonas Richter.
The beaver makes a warning sound, but different from the usual one.
Mohammed Morley.
The beaver makes a sad sound. Lucas is confused.
Lucas Kohler.
The beaver makes a neutral sound.
Gordon Campbell.
The beaver starts playing a famous Canadian pop song. Lucas is confused, then finds the song annoying. Trying to stay out of the beaver's sightline, he retrieves the plastic security access card from the trash and waves it in front of the beaver. The song stops, then the beaver starts aggressively beeping and its eyes flashing red. Lucas waves the card in front of the beaver, but the beeping doesn't stop. He uses the bottle opener and manages to open the beaver, and a small reel-to-reel audio tape pops out. He takes it out, and the beaver's noises stop. He puts the security card in his pocket and goes to the door and tries to open it, but it's still locked. He tries to unlock the door with the bottle opener. He steps back when he hears footsteps. Morley enters.
You can't have that here.
It's just a bottle opener.
It's a weapon.
You have a secret beer fridge and a bottle opener is a weapon?
That's why we only have cans. Hand it over.
What did you do with my parents?
We got them to talk. You planned a conspiracy to turn over an innocent person. That's not how we do things in Canada.
I'm innocent and you keep me here.
You're not innocent. You just conspired with your criminal family.
We're not criminals.
We always knew about your father, but your mother was a surprise.
She didn't do anything.
I'm on probation for losing that classified document, and it turns out she had it all along.
How could she have had it all along? She just got here.
And no one's saying what happened to my access card. Someone's trying to get me in trouble.
You've been trying to get me in trouble. Don't you see how unfair this is?
I understand unfair treatment, and I wanted to give you a chance, but it turns out Minot was right. I don't like that.
What about Jonas? Isn't he going to tell you I don't deserve this?
The Nazi?
Stop saying that. If you just talk to him, you'll see he is not a Nazi.
Lucas, we've used so much taxpayer money on you already, we can't afford to fly Jonas, especially since he's on the no-fly list. That's a very expensive hoop to jump through.
Talk to him on the phone!
We can't afford international calls either. We can only afford faxes, but a piece of paper isn't enough.
You wouldn't have to spend all the taxpayer money if you just sent me back.
Back where? You don't have a passport. You have no proof of who you are, just like your father.
You took everything, and there's a record on your surveillance tapes.
What surveillance tapes?
Lucas points to the beaver.
That's just our national symbol. It doesn't do anything.
I found the tape!
Hey,
Morley immediately collects himself, takes the tape, and puts it back in the beaver.
that's just the beaver's soundtrack.
The beaver plays the Canadian pop song again.
Is this soundtrack meant to drive your prisoners crazy?
Morley turns off the music.
You're not a prisoner. Have a drink and calm down.
This beer is shit!
You don't like Canadian beer?
No, Canada does not understand a thing about brewing. It should be illegal for you people to celebrate Oktoberfest.
You don't like our beer, or the cold, or polar bears. Why did you want to come to Canada in the first place?
I don't know. I must have been drunk.
Now, do you see why we have to be careful about who we let into the country?
Your country should be drowned in all its terrible beer and set on fire.
Is that a terrorist threat?
I'll give you terrorism.
He pulls the security access card out of his pocket and scratches it with the bottle opener.
What are you going to do? Take me to the other little room? Can you even get in without your card?
Hand over your weapon.
I hope Norway takes all your oil and forces you to speak Norwegian.
You think in Canada we don't take terrorism seriously?
Morley opens another secret compartment in the desk and takes out 2 guns.
What? Those were here all along?
Are you scared?
I didn't think it was like that here.
Like what?
There's just guns everywhere. I thought that was only those other countries.
We have gun control. That doesn't mean we don't have guns. We need them for these situations.
He points both guns at Lucas.
Hand over your weapon.
Lucas hands over the bottle opener.
Stand with your back against the wall. Hands up.
Lucas obeys.
Do you respect national security now?
Yes, absolutely. If you need 2 guns, I must have done something really bad.
Morley lowers the guns.
I don't usually use to. I'm just having some fun, like in the Wild West. I have to give one to Minnow, of course.
He spins the guns around Wild West style.
You'll stay put and not wreck anything else, right?
Lucas nods. Morley takes the guns and his security guard and leaves. Lucas sits down and takes a few sips of beer to calm down. The beaver laughs.
Are the guns even loaded?
The beaver laughs. Lucas glares at it and chugs all of the remaining beer. He takes a joint from the plastic bag on the desk, unrolls it, and eats the leaves inside.
Fuck you, you fucking beaver. You're just a rodent. What country chooses a rodent as its national symbol?
The beaver laughs.
Das ist nicht lustig. Halt die Klappe.
He tries to open the area where the tape came from and accidentally pulls out a wire, which causes the beaver to cycle through all its previous sound effects.
Stop it!
He hits its nose and the sound stops.
Ich will jetzt kein Englisch, nie kein Französisch sprechen. Was machst du denn, hä? Hä?
Jonas, who is carrying a Tim Hortons carafe, enters with Morley and Minot, who now both have guns in holsters. Throughout this scene, Morley mispronounces Jonas's name, and Jonas grows more irritated each time, though he restrains himself.
Jonas?
Lukas!
Wie bist du hier gekommen?
Come on, Lucas.
How did you get here?
I got a call from the Minister of Public Safety and Emergency Preparedness. My flight was arranged. They said you were in trouble? What happened?
Lucas, we're really impressed with Jonas so far.
He paid us back for his flight.
He doesn't cost taxpayers a thing.
He introduced himself in French.
He even brought us Tim Hortons coffee so we wouldn't get in trouble.
He
Pours 4 cups.
He proves you Germans aren't as lazy as you look.
It's really too bad, you know, about the far right thing.
Don't you see now? That's a different person.
Don't worry. We'll get all this straightened out. Have some coffee.
Morley hands them coffee. They find they don't like Tim Hortons coffee.
So, Jonas, you brought yourself over here because you want to prove that Lucas is not a criminal Nazi terrorist. That's a very admirable gesture considering all the trouble Lucas gave us.
What did you do?
I didn't do anything. They got on my case for things like your name and that my father isn't dead.
He's not?
He's been living in this airport all this time. He's from Australia.
So you're not German?
I'm sure we can straighten this out. But, Jonas, first, we have to clear something up. Your name matches an unsavory character on our no-fly list.
How did you get here if your name is on the no-fly list?
I have Easy Pass. I'm a trusted traveler.
Of course you are.
Maybe it's all a horrible mistake. Minot, did you ever double-check the no-fly list?
She looks uncomfortable.
What happened to it? Remember all the shit I got for replacing that memo?
Weren't you looking for the list?
You said you would find it.
I couldn't find it. I thought you knew where it was.
This isn't like the memo. I definitely checked everywhere.
Maybe Anna has it.
Anna, your mother?
Probably.
Is she here? And why would she have the no-fly list? Morley covers the beaver's ears.
I have it at home. It'll be funny when Minot finds out. To be honest, I don't think very highly of the no-fly list since I've suffered discrimination from it myself.
Yeah, Mo. So why are you holding it against Jonas?
We'll straighten it out. Jonas, please, explain your involvement with Germany's far right.
He's not involved.
I know there is someone in Alternative for Germany with my name. It's not me. I don't belong to any party at the moment.
See?
But doesn't it bother you that you have the same name as a Nazi? I know you don't like that word, but it's accurate, no?
He's not a Nazi. His name isn't his fault.
And Alternative for Germany is not the Nazi party. It's terrible to call them that.
What are we supposed to call them? The party of anti-Canadian values?
They won't take Germany back to the Nazi era. That is an overreaction. But they make some good points about immigration.
What?
Border security needs to be taken seriously. Mr. Morley, don't you agree? I know your job is very difficult, and you have to make hard decisions.
Jonas, you are a gem.
The sound of a ringing phone emanates from Morley's gun. It's also a cell phone. He answers it.
Hello, bonjour, Canada Border Services Agency. Minot, how is it my fault? Just throw it away. Okay, we'll both use our guns to get them back up against the wall.
He hangs up by twirling the gun Wild West side and putting it back in his holster.
Minot was seen with the Tim's Cup. I don't know why passengers are so touchy today. Jonas, I can trust you to keep an eye on Lucas, right?
He leaves.
What was that?
In German, what was what?
Speak English.
Why? There is a beeping noise followed by an announcement.
What do you mean Alternative for Germany has good points?
Voiceover announcements. Lucas is right, Jonas.
What do you mean Alternative for Germany has good points about immigration? You don't agree with them, do you?
Not with everything, but I understand what they mean. I don't think open borders are a good idea.
Why?
You have to admit some immigrants have caused problems in Germany.
What problems?
Look what happened to you. You turned out to be half Australian and you never knew.
What are you saying? You think my father shouldn't have been allowed in Germany and I should never have been born?
It's not that. But it changes our heritage and culture. If you come back to Germany, I'll explain. You'll understand eventually.
What are you talking about?
Right now, you don't understand the importance of German identity. You wanted to leave and come here instead.
I just wanted to travel for a year. Why is everyone against that?
What's wrong with being proud of your own country?
Does traveling make me some kind of traitor?
No, but Canada seems to have very different values. I was worried when you left.
About what? Shitty beer?
Canada is a bit too tolerant. I remember that Gordon Campbell. The beaver makes a neutral sound. Did you come here to be with him?
What? Of course not.
So you'll come back to Germany, and you'll see the error of your ways.
I'm trying to get back to Germany, but I don't like what you're saying.
The beaver makes a warning sound. Jonas twitches. If you don't understand what I'm saying, you should stay here. You and Gordon deserve each other.
What are you talking about?
You spent more time with him than with me.
You were always busy.
I needed to get good marks and start my career. You should have been doing that, but you spent all your time talking English with him.
I was studying. I was practicing my English.
He didn't want to learn our language.
That's his problem.
But you changed for him. You turned your back on your values. Canadians don't have good judgment, and they tolerate too much bad behavior. Gordon was a drug smuggler.
He was not. You would know if you talked to him. You have been making the same assumptions about Canadians that the guards made about me. They think because I'm German, I might be a Nazi.
It's not the same thing. Remember Gordon's party? I've never seen so many drugs in my life.
Stop it, Jonas. Don't say things like that.
The beaver beeps. But it's true. You don't remember that night. I remember that embarrassing display of Canadian culture.
Jonas, don't. They're going to get you for saying that. They've been trying to get me for not respecting Canadian values because I didn't know what a caribou was or something.
Probably another Canadian drug code word.
Stop it, they'll hear.
The beaver makes a warning sound. Too bad Gordon didn't warn you. He probably set you up.
Why are you so hung up on Gordon? He's not a monster, just lazy.
I know you still talk to him.
I do not.
Jonas pulls Lucas's phone from his pocket. I saw your texts.
What? How?
Miss Minot gave it to me. To give back to you. The beaver makes a sad sound with very irritating feedback. I knew you wanted to change. I just wish you had been honest.
It's not what it looks like.
We could have ended things before you left. It didn't have to come to this.
Gordon was calling to warn me about all this. It's happening around Canada. They have to find a terrorist today. It's all a setup. Those two were after me the whole time. They're trying to make me look bad.
No one is after you. They had good reasons to keep you. You're drunk.
They made me drink.
You're also high. I smelled it as soon as I came in.
They keep drinks in here.
He tries to open the secret fridge, but it won't budge, and he pounds the desk in rage. Throughout the rest of the exchange, the beaver cycles through its sound effects, sounding broken. Look at you. You're a disaster. And you think you're being treated unfairly.
I don't believe this. You were supposed to defend me.
Lucas, do you have any idea how many times I defended you?
From what?
From everything. I think every one of your friends asked what I saw in you.
What's wrong with me?
You're irresponsible. You were fun at first, but with everyone talking, it got tired. Even your mother thought I could do better.
What was I to you? Just an amusement?
I gave you the benefit of the doubt. I thought you just wanted a change of scenery. You would get it out of your system and come back and get your life started with me. I thought deep down you're not really so reckless, but look at you. They were right. The beaver suddenly starts playing the Canadian pop song very loudly. Jonas smacks it, then rips its head off its body. Morley and Minot enter.
Hey, Jonas, Lucas's parents had nothing but nice things to say about you, and Brian doesn't even know you.
He notices Jonas holding the beaver's head.
Oh my God! What happened here?
Not me.
I didn't touch it.
You are touching it.
Jonas throws the head at Lucas. He did it!
How?
Lucas
I was all the way over here.
Lucas is irresponsible enough to do such a thing.
Jonas is the one with no respect for your national symbols. He thinks Canadians are all lazy, irresponsible druggies.
I do not. Just Gordon Campbell.
You said he contaminated our country with his Canadian values.
I didn't say that. Lucas ejects the tape from the beaver.
I know you record what goes on here. Take a look at the tape. The last thing you'll see is Jonas murdering the beaver.
We don't have time for that. Don't you understand how serious this is? This is an act of treason.
They aren't from here. They are terrorists. We have to arrest them both immediately.
No, I can prove Jonas did this.
He takes his phone and quickly finds a photo and shows it to Morley and Minot.
What the hell is that?
That's Jonas at one of Germany's premier Wild West festivals.
You people wear dresses at these festivals?
Did he decapitate that caribou?
It's not a caribou, it's a red deer.
That's not me.
They can prove it. They can do facial recognition. They can track the location of the photo. They probably even have your DNA. These two know how to protect their country.
Thank you, Lucas.
You was that too, Lucas.
I never dress like that.
He finds another photo to show Morley and Minot.
I only dress like a cowboy.
Nice hat.
I rode a horse.
He shows more photos.
Wow, that's a great horse.
Your riding form isn't correct.
But I wasn't killing deer while mocking other cultures.
It's not a real deer. It's plastic.
It looks real enough.
Lucas finds another photo.
I also have this photo. This is Jonas on his first day at his job at one of Germany's premier oil and gas companies. This company is one of the largest license holders in Norway.
My God.
This is more proof than you'll ever have against me. I don't even have a job.
What's wrong with joining Norway?
He doesn't see anything wrong with working with enemy nations? Jonas is your terrorist.
We'll have to take him.
We have to close the border immediately.
It's amazing. We actually caught the Nazi. I mean, far right. I mean, fascist. Sorry. What does the alternative for Germany like to be called?
I'm not with them. That's someone else.
Oh, don't worry. Canadian taxpayers won't know the difference.
This isn't right. You're only persecuting me because of Lucas.
Yes, like they persecuted me because of you and because of Gordon and my father. Doesn't feel good now, does it?
We're not persecuting anyone.
No one is in trouble here for who they know or what they say or think or look like or any bad reasons like that. We assess all security threats on individual merits. And Jonas, you broke the beaver.
He and Minot arrest Jonas. You can't prove it. It was Lucas. He picks up the reel-to-reel tape. Morley does.
Don't worry. We'll review the tape before we file the paperwork.
Mademoiselle Minot, tu sais que je n'aurais jamais pu faire ça.
Ah, tais-toi, tu nous déçus au complet, hein?
Can I have my passport back now?
The border is closed.
I can't leave?
Morley takes Lucas's phone.
I need your photos for evidence.
Morley and Minot lead Jonas out. Lucas trashes the room, kicking over the chairs and emptying the trash can. He finds he is now able to open the desk drawers, and they are full of confiscated items, which he throws around the room. Morley returns with Lucas's passport, wallet, visa, and phone, and a German beer. Morley gives Lucas his passport, wallet, visa, and phone back.
Here's your stuff back. It won't do you much good now, though, since the border is closed.
Am I supposed to thank you?
I should thank you.
He hands Lucas the beer.
I got you this from the terminal. It's one of the last German beers in Canada since closing the border ends imports.
Who's the Nazi now?
Calm down. We should celebrate. This is a historic event that you're a part of.
It's exactly like Nazi times, which you gave me shit for.
Listen, we finally got it right. Apprehending a Nazi terrorist beaver killer actually made everyone happy. Some are happy because we're taking terrorism seriously. Others are happy because we're taking the far right seriously. Still others are happy that we closed the border, and no one is upset that we're discriminating against their group because no one will say that they're a Nazi terrorist beaver killer.
I'm not happy.
We'd like to offer you a job here with the Canada Border Services Agency.
Like my father? No. I'm not going to be an errand boy for this fascist hellscape.
Well, your father might get fired because of the classified memo thing, but you wouldn't be low on the hierarchy like he is. You'd be equal to myself and Minot.
You can't afford me. The border is closed and your agency is more useless than before.
Quite the opposite. There is no border without enforcement. A closed border means a hell of a lot more funding for us.
I've wasted hours of my life with you calling me a Nazi terrorist criminal. Why the fuck would I join you?
Lucas, you did our job better than we could. We were dead wrong about you. We wasted so much time and money grasping at straws, and just like that, you found us a perfect terrorist. He was even your well-liked boyfriend. I don't know how we're going to carry on in this new world without you on the squad, frankly.
You Canadians are fucking lazy.
What else are you going to do? You can't leave the country. You can choose to become a productive member of this society, or you can wander the airport aimlessly like the rest of the shameful, secret, stateless population. You'll be treated like a real person if you work with us. You'll even be allowed in all the lounges.
What about my parents? Are they going to be real people?
Would that make you happy, Lucas?
Don't fire my father. I think he did his job better than you think.
We can't keep him on. He violated so many procedures.
Are you going to fix the surveillance device?
We'll get better devices, more devices. We'll be able to add surveillance to every corner, and they won't be analog anymore.
Lucas plays a German electronic dance song on his phone.
I want this to play every time my name is said.
I'm not sure if we're allowed a foreign soundtrack with a closed border. It might count as an import.
That's my condition for working for you. I want my heritage integrated into my new life here. Either I get my song, or I get my father working by my side.
I'll get you the song.
I changed my mind. I want both. I want the song and my father as my assistant. Or I'll tell all the frightened passengers your gun is just a cell phone.
You wouldn't.
Lucas stares him down.
You don't want people thinking this new Canada is too nice, do you?
We'll keep your father on.
You Canadians are the greatest. Bring him here. I want to tell him the good news.
Morley turns to leave. Lucas calls after him.
Hey, would I have to speak French?
You don't have to, but if you pick it up, Mino and I can't talk about you behind your back.
I'll learn your language if you learn mine, Arschloch.
I'm going to ask your mother what that means.
He leaves. Lucas sips the German beer. Brian enters looking rough, but he has lipstick kisses on his face. He notices the decapitated beaver.
Crocky. Who did that?
What the hell happened to you?
You know what happens in the other room? Stays in the other room.
Is Mom okay?
She's fine. Actually, Claudie is already getting her to help with language enforcement. Mo and Claudie are so happy that anything we might have done is all forgiven.
You don't really get your wheat from Gordon Campbell, do you?
No. There is no Gordon Campbell here. I framed someone else.
Well, I'm high on the hierarchy now. I can get some favors for you, like legal status. But as part of my job, I should check that you're not doing anything really illegal, like impersonating the Minister of Public Safety and Emergency Preparedness.
It was only a one-time thing.
It's impressive that you pulled it off.
Yeah, I could do the accent pretty good by now.
If we need it, we can put it to good use. But I just have to order you not to do it without authorization. And definitely stop arranging flights for terrorists with taxpayer money.
Yeah, that was the first and last time.
Jonas paid it back anyway.
I figured he would. Ass kisser.
Did you know he was a terrorist?
Yeah, I had a hunch. There's always a catch with those perfect people.
At least it worked. Can I do anything to thank you?
Can you find me a goddamn Aussie beer?
End.
Thank you, readers. You guys did an excellent job. We're now going to move into the Q&A portion of our program. If anyone has any questions for the playwright or the actors, please post them in the comments now or anytime during our Q&A, and we'll try and get those answered for you. Hi, Giorgia. How did that feel?
Hi. That was great. Thanks so much, you guys, for doing that. Always laugh at something new every time I hear this play.
I think what I really like about this play is the political absurdity of it. Why did you choose this type of humor to talk about race and border in this way?
Well, it's things with you look at rhetoric surrounding immigration and the things that people say. Is the comedy tends to sort of write itself. Because, for example, I hear a lot of people who are anti-immigrant will say, "Oh, the immigrants are taking our jobs," but then they'll also say, "Oh, immigrants are lazy and are taking advantage of taxpayer money." So there's the absurdity right there. So I see that a lot. And I started collecting this stuff, and then when you apply it to Europeans, then it starts to highlight how absurd that is. Everyone will always say, "Oh no, we're not like those other people," but you start applying to it, then you kind of see how that rhetoric works and how arbitrary it is.
Yeah. Ava also had a question. I'm going to throw it to her.
Okay.
Hello.
Hi. So funny.
Yes, thank you for bearing with that accent. So the question was basically, I mean, there's a lot of different things that are coming out of actuality of immigration and border problems and things that you read about either in the news or you can maybe have information or stories firsthand. So I was curious for yourself if you where the inspiration came from, where your research is coming from that helps to kind of play a part in the writing of this show.
Yeah, sure. Well, my parents are immigrants, so I do have personal experience with that. Of course, we're Italian, so we get a lot of privilege. But it was always drilled into me that when people were making comments about immigrants, they're talking about us too. So it was always drilled in, do not put up with that. It also relates to the poem from Holocaust. First they came for the Jews. I did not speak up because I was not a Jew. They came for the communists. I did not speak up, and then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak up for me. So there's that, and so when I follow that things saying about immigrants, I can see just how arbitrary and how ridiculous it is, and how it's all constructed. It's not based in any kind of reality. It's all language that determines who the scapegoats are and who is othered.
Cool. And what made you choose the airport to kind of make all of this absurdity happen?
Well, the airport can be kind of a this liminal purgatorial space where they decide if you actually get to exist within a border or not, or they could send you back. But then if that country doesn't want you either, then what do you do? And since my parents are from Italy, I've traveled back to Europe a lot, and I do travel frequently. I spend a lot of time in airports, and that space is kind of an unsettling space. You're never really truly comfortable in an airport, even if you're an elite traveler and get to spend time in the lounge, which I have. Yeah. But it's always just kind of that unsettling space where they can, if you say the wrong thing or if you do something that they decide they don't like, they can get you.
Did you or anyone you know ever get detained kind of to a certain degree in an airport?
This is funny. I did ask my parents, did they ever get detained? Were they ever in the little room, when they were being interrogated for their permanent residence or ever? And my dad's very adamant. It's no, we were never in the little room. So no, I mean, I have been pulled. There's always those situations might be pulled aside for random additional screening. Is it really random? I don't know. I have never gotten in trouble. I guess my dad did get questioned for his laptop had some chemicals on it, but he works in a lab. So if all he had to say is I work in a lab, and they let him off the hook.
Gotcha. Cool. Thank you so much, Georgia. I appreciate you answering my questions.
Thank you. It was fun.
So I have one more question. Why choose a Middle Eastern character to play a border services agent?
Okay. Well, first of all, I didn't want an all-white cast because this is not just a white people problem. So I definitely wanted to have at least one character who was not white. Although I think with this play, it doesn't really matter what the actors look like. Anyone of any nationality could play any of them; it would still work because it's about how language constructs who is scapegoated. But the thing with morally is that while I was writing a certain draft, is something did come to me. I was thinking about the no-fly list, how back when it was a big deal. Not in the news so much anymore these days, but I remember when it was a big deal, and they were talking about partial matches on names. Like, wow, so it's not going to work out for people with extremely common names like Muhammad. So I just got the idea from that. It's like, okay, well, what if Lucas brings this up and it turns out that this border guard shares this name and he has suffered discrimination himself, so that complicates the relationship there a bit, because you have this person, he's in a position of power, but he's also in the position where he's othered. He has this power to scapegoat someone else, but at the same time, he's still treated differently than his colleagues. As he said, he's never gonna get that status. So he can be that's a complicated relationship with him and Lucas, because he can show he's being sympathetic to Lucas, but at the same time, it's like he can still do what he wants with him.
Now, did you get any feedback about that during the run at the Edmonton Fringe?
Not during the Fringe. I know when I did another workshop with this, I did get told like maybe don't be too cavalier with how he's being, with how Morley would be teased as being a terrorist, because that's becoming that's becoming almost a slur at this point. But I think that the way that we've done it, it was it worked out okay. I think it was very clear like what I was trying to do with this.
What about you, Orves? How does this character sit for you? Because you played Morley in the original Fringe production, correct?
Well, I enjoyed the character because it wasn't a stereotype, but it wasn't a token character either. For instance, I mean, there are many people of ethnic minorities who are chosen to play their background characters simply to fill in diversity's sake, or rather, stereotypical characters like your local convenience shop owner or possible bad guy, but that fits the usual suspects description. But Muhammad Morley, he was in a position of authority, and the shoe was on the other foot with him interrogating other visitors to Canada, and not just any visitors, but Central European Caucasian visitors, people that usually often fly under the radar, so to speak. And you need to satirize much of the interrogation process to understand why is it that Morley might either sympathize with these new visitors, but also want to maybe flex his authority a little bit because of the antagonism that he might have faced as well. And my own little theory about Canadian beer is that as a Muslim, he's not supposed to drink alcohol to begin with. A non-alcoholic beer isn't the most tasty beer from what most people would probably universally agree. So giving the detainee non-alcoholic beer doesn't technically break any rules, while also justifies the fact that it's pretty crappy tasting beverage that they're drinking, right? Afterwards, a German beer probably tasted a lot better to Lucas, I imagine. So all these little nuances kind of come up anytime I look back in retrospect, and just being invited to participate in this evening's reading, I really do appreciate it. Thank you.
No, we like having you. Thanks so much. So, Georgia, is there anything else that maybe you wanted to ask the audience, or anything else that you wanted to say?
Well, am I talking too fast? I tend to do that because I'm Italian.
That's all right. No.
Yeah, because another thing with Morley, another thing I had in mind is that in any kind of oppressive system, there's always the token ones who are given like a bit more privilege. But then the oppressors point to and say, oh look, well, see, they're fine, so it's not really a systematic problem. Like during Nazi Germany, there were Jews involved in the secret police. So I would think that under the impression that if they joined with the enemy, they would be saved. Of course, it didn't work out that way. So it's a little dark undertone, but it is a thing that happens.
True. Yeah. Well, I think it's time to call it. Thanks so much, Georgia, for sharing your play with us.
Thank you.
And thank you for all the readers. That was a really great job. So now, if you're watching and you're a playwright and you'd like us to host a reading for you, please email us at playdatereadings@gmail.com, or you can find us on Facebook as Playdate:*live play readings. And if you want to see more of this, like the Facebook page, like and subscribe on the YouTube, and tune in next Tuesday at 7:30 Central Standard Time for a reading of The Cause by Joseph Quinn, Connor Joseph, and Jacob Hurd. Okay, thanks for playing with us.